Shabbat Shalom lekulam. It is so good to see all of you. Happy Shabbat. My name is Rabbi Zaslow. This is Cantor Blatt. And we are so excited that the 5th grade class and their families are here with us tonight, helping to add your joyous voices into our Shabbat services. How lucky are all of we? And as we're going through the services, if you feel like you want to dance in your seat or you feel a little bit of the Shabbat Ruach, the Shabbat spirit, definitely bring it. We want to have it. If you need a siddur, if you need a prayer book, there by that door back there, it's a blue book. And we're going to begin on page 12. Page 12, Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh of Harachamai Mishach Avtecha El Ritzonecha Yarutz Avtecha
Our services have a lot of Hebrew words in them, and if you're not sure of the words, as we did with the end of that particular prayer, we have the nigun, we have this wordless melody. Oh, you can join in with that. We continue on page 22. Page 22.
Shame.
Page 24.
יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 אז ירננו כל עצי יעל אז ירננו כל עצי יעל אז ירננו כל עצי יעל אז ירננו כל יצי יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 אז ירננו כל עצי יעל אז ירננו כל עצי יעל אז ירננו כל עצי יעל אז ירננו כל עצי יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו יעלו שדי איי 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 איי
We turn to page 26 for Or Zarua, and we want to plant some light amongst ourselves, plant some light in our congregation, and plant some light in this world. Bottom of the page, 26.
Yedirai, 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 yadirai, 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 yadirai. Try that. Yedirai, 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 yadirai, 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 yedirai, yedirai, yadirai, yadirai, Shir Kadash kids. Yadarai, 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 yadarai.
Page 28, middle of the page.
Zamaru Ladonai Bechino
Page 30, bottom of the page.
Rombemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Rombemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu behar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yachavu hakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yachavu hakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
We conclude our Kabbalat Shabbat on page 34 with Psalm 29.
Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai v'Elim, Havul Adonai, Kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Havul Adonai, Adrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hilim, Adonai, hamayim rabim, Kol Adonai, Yaakov, Kol Adonai ve'adar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vayshaper Adonai et arzei halanon, Vayar kitei v'moegel Lebanon, Adonai midbar kadesh, Adonai choler ayalon, vayechesod Yerot u'heichalon. Omer kavod Adonai lamavul yashav yeshiv Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitein Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. Ay yaradai dai ay yaradai ay yaradai dai dai ay yaradai dai dai yaradai 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 yaradai. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Invite up Cantor King.
Of course, of course. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We have gathered here, thank you, we have gathered here this evening not only two young people who are having their B'nai Mitzvah tomorrow, but also a bunch of young people who are basically starting their Bar Mitzvah journey, Bar or Bat Mitzvah journey, very, very soon, if not already. This week's Parsha, Lech Lecha, we hear about Abraham being sent. God tells Abraham to go on a journey to find his best self. And that's what a bar bat mitzvah is all about. It's about going forward to find your best self. And there's kind of a song about that. To a place that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a land you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you will be a blessing. You will be a blessing. You will be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I will make your name great. Lech lecha. And all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. And you shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
Well, just like Avram and Sarah, the ones who are sent on this journey, we are really all on journeys. Thank you, Cantor. We pause now as we remember with reverence the yard sites of our beloved departed, observed until sundown tonight, the 10th day of Mar Cheshvan. Emma Baumblatt, Milton Bronstein, Cecile Cooper, Sandy Dolores Dahe Landy, Diane Diamond, Lillian Gronzik, Robin Claire Holland, Sydney S. Krause, Ethel Levinson, Leonard Levine, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Meltzer, Ruth A. Malofsky, Melvin Pavsner, Max Plaut, Florence Resnick, Amy Scher, Albert Siegelman, Ada Snyder, Henry Wallach, and Carolyn Weiss. Zecher Tzadik Libracha, may their righteous memories continue to bring blessing into all of our lives, and together to that we say Amen.
Amen.
And in solemn testimony to the unbroken chain of faith which links us, Lador Vador, one generation to another, those who are in mourning and those who are currently observing a yard site, I invite you to stand, to please rise, as we recite together the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 124. Mourner's Kaddish 124. Yikadal ve'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divra chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei zachol beit Yisrael, Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. We turn back to page 38, Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Page 40.
בואי בשלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing and face the ark as we turn to page 50 for the Barchu, the official call to prayer as we begin our evening prayers, the Ma'ariv service. Be seated. We invite up Gabby to read on page 51 for us.
Praise the Lord, source of all blessing.
Whose word?
Praised are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, whose words bring on the dusk of evening.
Your wisdom opens the gates of dawn. Your understanding regulates time and seasons.
The stars above follow their appointed rounds in response to your divine will.
You create day and night. You alternate darkness and light.
You remove the day and bring on the night. You separate one from the other.
We call you Lord of heavenly hosts. You are our living God.
May you rule over us. You rule over nature. Praised are you, O Lord, who brings the evening dusk.
Amen.
ומעביד יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב על אביב.
Page 52.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ימלוך עלינו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Page 54.
ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך בכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
You may be seated. We continue with the Shema's second paragraph on page 56.
והיה
And reading together in English from the middle of page 57. Therefore, keep these words of mine in your heart and in your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your arm, and let them be a reminder above your eyes. Teach them to your children, speaking of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down at night and when you rise up in the morning. Write them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Thus your days and the days of your children will be multiplied on the land which the Lord promised to your ancestors for as long as the heavens remain over the earth. We continue with the last paragraph of the Shema on page 58.
ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור דבר. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Middle of 60.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל, לכאן הושיעה, ושימך רבה, ויאמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ובניך, עוקע הים לפני משה. זה לידנו ואמרו, זה לידנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Continue on page 63 with responsive reading. We invite up Rita from the Patch family to lead us.
Help us, O God, to lie down in peace, but teach us that peace means more than quiet.
Remind us that if we are to be at peace at night, we must take heed how we live by day.
Grant us the peace that comes from honest dealing, so that no fear of discovery will haunt our sleep.
Rid us of resentments and hatreds which rob us of the peace we crave.
Liberate us from enslaving habits which disturb us and give us no rest.
May we inflict no pain, bring no shame, and seek no profit from another's loss.
May we so live that we can face the world with serenity and with grace.
May we feel no remorse at night for what we have done during the day.
May we lie down in peace tonight and awaken tomorrow to a richer and fuller life.
Amen.
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום, מעתה ועד עולם. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים.
Page 64.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
66.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא תבדק חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביום יכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, וימלאו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מברך, לעולם עולם מעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהלל ויתהלל ויתהלל, שמי לקודשא בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבקתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
We rise for the whispered standing prayer, the Shabbat evening Amidah, which is said personally beginning on page 69.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך, ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תוסיף לעולם.
You may be seated, page 80.
La 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 la. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, יבוא שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. La 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 la. יבוא שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל העליון, קונה שמיים וארץ. מגן אבות בדברו, מקיים מתים במאמרו, האל הקדוש אין כמוהו, המניח לעמו. ביום שבת קודשו, איבם רצה להניח להם, איבם רצה להניח להם, לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, בין הברכות. אל ההודעות אדון השלום, מקדש השבת מברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה לעמדו שני עונג, זכר למעשה בראשית.
Page 86.
יתגדל ויתקדש שם ירבה,
Amen.
תלמדי ודקדותי וימליק מלכותי בחיי כלנו בימי כלנו ובחיי כל בית ישראל, הגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שבירה במברך, לעולם עולל מעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה, ולכל אל אמין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונקמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. תתקבל תלות הון ובעת הון לכל ישראל כאדם ובהון ושמי ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה משמי וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום מממיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen.
Whether you're joining us here or online, we're currently on page 90, and we're going to be saying Kiddush together. We're so blessed to have two B'nai Mitzvahs this Shabbat. Both Dylan and Karina will be leading us in Kiddush, so each of them will take a libation, take a grape juice. And if you're joining us online, please pour yourself a drink of whatever you might have on hand. Come on over here. Please rise for the Friday night Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri haggad.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushani b'mitzvotav, v'ratzah banu, v'shabbat kedusho, v'chava uvratzon, hinhi lanu zikaron, ma'aseh b'rishit, ki hu yom tehillah, lemikra kodesh, zehikeh b'tiyat mitzrayim,
Kivanu v'chata, ve'otanu kidasha, mikol ha'avim, ve'shavat kodshecha, v'yahava uvratzon, inkaltanu.
Baruch atah Adonai, mekadosh hashabbat.
It's delicious. It's only been in that brewery for 6 months. Good job.
Invite up Rabbi Schwartz to share some words of Torah. You may be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. When I was growing up, I collected comic books, mostly Marvel titles. So that's like Spider-Man and Avengers and X-Men was my particular title that I collected. And then I did also buy a couple DC comics. Batman, I was interested, so I bought Batman and Detective Comics, where Batman also appeared. And occasionally, if you were a comic collector, you would get into a debate with another comic collector about which superhero could beat which superhero. You know what I mean? Like, could Batman ever defeat Superman? Like that kind of thing. Or Spider-Man, could Spider-Man beat Batman? Or could one of the X-Men beat one of the Avengers? Or could even like the whole team, like could the Avengers beat the X-Men? And we used to have debates about that, extensive debates. Of course, I always thought that Batman could beat anybody because he was my favorite, but he didn't get to test that too often, one time against Superman. But those kinds of debates happen across genres, you know, so if you think about sports, we have those kinds of debates all the time. You know, quarterbacks particularly, right? Say, who was the greatest quarterback? Was it this person or that person? So you do it kind of across generations. So you might say, well, you know, today you have like Patrick Mahomes, but back then you had Unitas or whatever it might be. And Unitas was really, or even today you could do it sort of within a division. So, you know, as Ravens fans, you're probably pretty happy with your quarterback, Lamar Jackson, right? Yeah? Yeah? I don't know. But would you rather have Joe Burrow? I don't know. Let's see a show of hands on that. Okay. If you'd rather keep Lamar, raise your hand. Switch him out for Joe Burrow. Ooh. There's a strong contingent in the back that is interested in that, making that particular move. And so, you know, these kinds of debates, this one's better, that one's better, sort of plays out in your head. But you can do that with biblical figures as well, you know. So we start reading this Shabbos in Parshat Lech Lecha, the story of Abraham. Abraham's story unfolds in 3 parshayot. It's this week with Lech Lecha, next week with Vayera, and the week after that with Chaye Sarah. So 3 parshayot learn all of Abraham's narrative. And Abraham is clearly, despite the fact that his story is packed into 3 Torah portions, here, really the early side of Genesis, clearly one of the most important, if not the most important figure in the entire Torah, because Abraham's understood as being the first Jew. I mean, what could be more important than that? The person who brings Judaism into the world and the monotheistic ideal. But then you have coming along in Exodus the figure of Moses, right? Who's pretty important too. I mean, it's hard to argue against Moses. Boy, I mean, Moses is the one who brings the people out of Egypt. Moses is the one who really kind of creates the Jewish people as a national entity. Moses brings the calendar. Moses brings the Torah down from the mountain. I mean, Moses is Moses. So you have Abraham over here, and then Moses over here. Abraham is Avraham Avinu, we call Abraham. Abraham, our father, our parent. What do we call Moses? Rabbeinu. So Moses is our rabbi. So there, Abraham as a parent is maybe like a little warmer as a figure, a little more welcoming as a figure. Moses as the rabbi of the Jewish people, maybe, I mean, back in the day when, I know, your rabbis are not like this, but back in the day when rabbis were sort of, serious and... We are? We are serious? But rabbis at one time, many of you will remember, were really perceived of as being kind of like that. And that's why Moses is Rabbeinu. He was sort of up there. And so Avraham Avinu, Moshe Rabbeinu, Abraham, the person who brings Judaism into the world, Moses, the person who creates the Jewish people. So I don't know, Moses versus Abraham. So let's have a show of hands on that. Okay, so if you think Moses is more important, raise your hand. Ooh, wow. Okay, and if you think Abraham is more important, Moses definitely wins. Moses definitely wins. Abraham would be very disappointed. I mean, if you think about it, you never could get to Moses without Abraham. You need to have Abraham first, right? You need to have a first Jew. I mean, of course, the truth is, in terms of a superhero debate or a quarterback debate, you always kind of want someone to end up on top, so to speak, and you'll argue very vociferously for your point of view. And clearly, of course, the greatest quarterback of all time was Dan Marino. But in terms of Abraham and Moses, the truth is, in Judaism, you need both. You need to have both. You need to have that sort of paternal or maternal figure, a parent, a kind of figure that you can go to in an intimate way. You need to have a kind of stern rabbinic figure representing the tradition and the law, right? The giver of the law. You need to have the person who's brave enough to step out and to bring monotheism into the world. And you need to have the person who's courageous enough to stand up to Pharaoh and to lead the people to freedom and to help them create the national entity that we still are part of today. So Moses won tonight, but Abraham, probably in some other congregation somewhere in the world, won his own contest tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue on page 118 in our prayer books, 118. Please rise as able as we say the Aleinu together.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגול עלינו ככל המונם. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו וגם הם מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, עמד מלכנו אפס עולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל בעמך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
120, continuing personally.
הכתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Pausing now, we remember with reverence the yard sites of our beloved departed, observe sundown this evening until sundown tomorrow, the 11th day of Mar Cheshvan. Ruth Ackman, Aaron Harry Block, Herbert Block, Robert Cohen, Eleanor Ochsfeld Eisner, Harriet Gould, Bernard Greenberg, Ellis Hyman, Gerald Jurin, Dr. Bernard Kyman, Rose Kraut, Ida Kurlander, Samuel Kerman, Sylvia Kerman, Lawrence Donald Levitt, Dr. Stanley Orig, Saul Schwartz, Esther Stein, Harold Supovitz, and Emily Velili. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may their righteous memories continue to bring blessings into all of our lives. Together we say to that, Amen.
Amen.
In solemn testimony to that unbroken chain of faith that links us, Ledor Vador, one generation to the next. Those of you who are in a period of mourning, those of you who are observing a yard site, please rise as we say together the Mourner's Kaddish on page 124. 124. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael ba'gala uv'izman kariv ve'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitramam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yit'aleh ve'yithalal shmei dekutsha brichu.
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damriran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Order of services, we're going to have a dinner together with the fifth graders and their families after services tonight. And tomorrow's services will be at 10 a.m. and at 6 p.m., and there will be B'nai Mitzvahs at both services, and they will be held here in the Berman Reuben. And Sunday services are at 9:15 a.m., and we want to extend a hearty mazel tov to both Dylan, Karina, and all of their families on the occasion of their B'nai Mitzvot. And we conclude on page 16 with Shalom Aleichem. B'nai Mitzvot, B'nai Mitzvot.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bokem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Balkuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Teitchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.